Hey guys, Andy Yen, spoken label, back in the house on a Sunday evening. Yeah, it's a bit bloody cold today as well. I've got my thermal hoodie on at the moment. It's nice and snug in this cell. But yeah, and on the video side of things, may note I look a bit different today because I've had half a tooth fall out a couple of days ago, and the bloody dentist won't see me for 3 weeks. So you got to put up with me today, looking a bit toothless, but still full of charm. So we are down south today, and to meet a wonderful lady who I chatted to a couple of weeks ago. And I've been looking forward to this since I chatted to this lady online. So thanks to the fantastic Ashley Edge over at their wonderful press, I need to state quite clearly, because Ash introduced me to Suzy a while ago, and I've been looking forward to this podcast. And I've really enjoyed Suzy's book on this. So we've got a lot of questions to ask Suzy here as well. But before we go any further, Suzy, obviously give us the introduction of yourself as a person. Because when we chatted a couple of weeks ago, I know you've lived in a few places, haven't you? And you've had a bit of a life. Is that a good way of putting it?
Probably, yes. So I live in Luton in Bedfordshire. I was born here, escaped twice, but it still sucked me back in again. So here I am, and I live very close to the airport. So my two loves in life were English, literature, and travel. So here I am as a result, many decades later,
Oh,
finally managed to publish a book thanks to Poetic Edge Publishers.
yeah, great stuff indeed. This so now, obviously, I know. Obviously, if my memory's correct with you, and I'm probably wrong here, 'cause this is a sign I've had a bloody awful memory. Is didn't you do a lot of writing when you were younger, and you've picked it up again a bit later in life, haven't you? I'm trying to remember
Yeah,
it.
I always wrote. I've always written from a child. I've always written. I was always writing stories. Always had my head in the book. I read every single book in the mobile library back in the days when we had mobile libraries.
Oh yeah, I remember them.
And
We used to have near us, but they kept getting broke into. So that's where I live.
yeah, so then I had to go and work for a living. So I went to work at the airport, and I've worked in the airline industry for most of my life. But before I went, I was cabin crew for 5 years. And before I went flying as cabin crew, I also repped. So I repped in Spain for a year. I lived in Porto Cristo in Mallorca, which was a fabulous year.
Wow. Oh
And then I
yeah.
went flying. Then I went flying for 5 years, and then after that, I moved to Taiwan, and I was a teacher of English as a second language over in Taiwan for 5 years.
Ooh, nice. Nice. What was that experience like?
Mind blowing. Very, very different. I moved there in 1993 and left in 1998. There were very few foreigners. I was in the south of the island, the old capital, Tainan. Yeah, it was just really, really, really different. Very exciting.
Yeah, it must have been. We'd been at that point. Yeah, I went off traveling myself when I went down Brazil. I did Brazil from 94 for 6 months. I did, and it was like, yeah, they barely knew any English people. Nobody knew English. So in my case, I was working at a bar, couldn't speak Portuguese, so I just wing it, as you do, right?
Yeah.
No, yeah. So, oh, brilliant stuff indeed. That now, I thought so. Now, obviously, we're here today to talk about your poetry book, which is, as of recording, is forthcoming. I know it's out in January, and I've
Yes.
seen two release dates of this now. So, and in fact, actually, I've seen two different titles of the book as well. So,
You have.
which gets even more confusing. Now, obviously, make sure we get our facts right. Then, what is the book going to be called first of all?
It's going to be called Webstrung.
Webstrung, that's fine. I know the manuscript you sent to me had "fly like a spider" on it, which I thought when I was researching it later today, and I thought, oh heck, it's been changed. So, okay, well,
Yeah, we had a
yeah, sorry, pardon me.
sorry, we had a working title. We couldn't make our minds up at the time, so we went with two until we got to reach a decision and thought, yeah, Webstrung is what we're going for.
Yeah, I like it. I like it. Obviously, I'm going to ask you first of all then, because now we know there is a working title and a final title. Where did the idea for the title "Fly Like a Spider" come from originally then? And then what made you change it to
It
Webstrung?
originally came from okay. It originally came from the first poem in the book, which when I first wrote it was called Poem from the Spider Chronicles. And as I thought at the time, what a great title for a poetry collection, the Spider Chronicles. So that was the original title. And then me and Ash were chatting, and we decided we didn't like it. So then when we went on a brainstorming session of what are we going to call it, and we flew with Fly Like a Spider for a while, and then I came up with the word Webstrung, and we thought that was a stronger sounding title, and there's some strong messages in the book, and we wanted it to be stronger than Fly Like a Spider.
Yeah, I think the verb is different. We're doing a lot of web strong because yeah, and I understand. It's a good move, that. I think it's a really good move. So now, you did send over to me before because I didn't have the original cover for this, and I really liked the image, which was on your drawing you told me on the cover. So tell us about the choice of the cover next then.
Okay, so the cover is a collage painting. We were originally going to go with web, so we had lots of spider webs, and then I thought, well, actually, I am the spider, so let's put me on the front of the cover. And this is a collage I made a good few years ago now, and I had it hanging up in the hall. And we were trying to find an original art, some original artwork that we didn't have to pay any copyrights for. So
Yeah.
I said to Ash, hold on, I think I might have the answer. So I sent a picture over to Ash, and yes, that's what we decided to use.
Brilliant. That's a good choice. Really, really good choice to the barrier for that. I agree with you. Now, a lot of your book is a process that I've done a lot of myself, work myself over the years with a couple of painting friend of mine, and Amanda's called Aggie. And if Aggie's listening, she's wonderful. Great painter in the Stockport area. Now, it's extract, I can never get my tongue around this either. It's extractics, isn't it? Or
Ekphrastic.
Excratic, that's it. Yeah, my friend John Keener kicked my bum for that next time I speak to him as well. He listens to the podcast. Sorry, John. Yeah, but a lot of your poems are along that theme. Now, I found this really interesting because I was like, do you almost feel like when you write these, and I do. Do you see your poems almost like collaborations of these artists across time and space?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, it is. It is. It's a bit like the picture is a collage. I feel I'm a collage poet. I collect things, like a magpie. All sorts of bits and pieces come to me. So when I'm looking at a painting, I use it as a portal. So it's a jumping off point for me, or a jumping
Yeah,
into the deep
yeah, that
to
can
allow
make
some.
sense.
Yeah, so to allow something that's inside come out that I wouldn't necessarily have thought of with my front brain.
Yeah, brilliant. Now, the obvious question after this is, what made you want to do this process? It's not something that's commonly known in the poetry circuit. It's a great idea, always is. When did you first discover this?
Um, I think it was all to do. I think the main thing is I love art and art galleries anyway. So if you're not reading, I'm in an art gallery or a museum. So there is that love of painting and art is definitely there from the beginning. But I'm very lucky with work to do a round the world trip on an airline. And one of the places we visited was Madagascar, and we went to the old royal palace in Antananarivo, where I saw a statue of a woman, a native woman, and I thought, what a beautiful, beautiful statue. And I was just so taken with it. That was my first point. And then I decided maybe that I would, because there's not many statues of women across the world. You see
Hmm.
male statues all the time. And I
But
thought,
yeah,
I could maybe do a collection of women's statues. But as I was collecting them, I found that not all of them spoke to me. So I had just had to keep in with the ones that I felt a connection with rather than do it for a reason.
yeah. No, it makes sense. It's like with anything you do and you're creative on, it's got to speak to you in some way or another.
Yes,
Like
yes.
there's awful, like if you look at the statues where we are in Manchester, there's a load of them around there, and I'm walking past them. They just look like mean nothing to me. And you've got everything you do, it's got to have that emotional connection. So that's why. So it's yeah, I get it completely with that. So now, obviously, in your book itself, then there's a couple of pieces like Webstrung and Guidebook to the Archaic. I'm gonna Archaic that use imagery, a lot of weaving of threads and bindings. Now, explain about this to us next, and first of all.
Okay, this is going to lead into one of your later questions as well.
I knew
I've
it. I
got
knew it.
I've got tarot I've got tarot cards. I'm a
Ah,
tarot card reader, and one of my tarot cards are these, which is Native American animals, spirit animals, and this is my favorite pack. So I've used that many times also as a jumping off point. What did this animal mean? What
ah.
does this mean to me today? And yes, so looking to the chapter, this book is by Jamie Sams and David Carson, Medicine Cards. So I would go to the spider chapter and read on the spider.
Brilliant. Now, that being the case, you're talking about animals then. I can guess, is this when it's about the animals that are reoccurring throughout your manuscript? Is that the question? Or another
Yes and
question?
no. So yes, it's all interwoven, Andy,
Yeah.
because so going back to the ekphrastic question, when I started writing it, I came across a wonderful website called the Ekphrastic Review, which is run by a Canadian artist, Lorette C. Luzagic. And I was really taken in with her whole premise on Facebook, and I would join in her workshops and send my poems off. And she published me online on the Ekphrastic Review. Then I was also attending workshops with Wendy Pratt, who uses animals in her poetry books. And so I got wrapped up in that as well. So the whole thing is all interwoven. And
Ah.
then as a way, so the two round the world trips that I did, another one I went to Tanzania to Ngorongoro. So leopards came because I saw a leopard when I was in Tanzania, and I
Brilliant.
can't explain how exciting that was.
Oh yeah, no, I can do. Yeah, no, I understand you completely with that. Oh, fantastic, fantastic. Now, I did really enjoy in the book itself. Obviously, there was quite a few historical figures in the book, like and I had to research the first one, Queen Ravelona of Madagascar, and obviously then Midnight was Christopher Columbus's Square. I thought you did these pieces, a lot of all the books like this anyway, with real vivid intensity in this book. Now, in this case, in both of these poems, what sort of thing compels you to reimagine characters such like this?
The statue of Queen Ranavalona of Madagascar was just. As soon as I came home, I did a load of research. I just wanted to know as much about this statue as possible. And there is a book called by Keith Laidlaw called The Mad Queen. And I read that book. I found there's only one other Madagascan history book that I found, but I read that from cover to cover. And I was just trying to find as many articles as possible to inform myself about this figure. And that's where the inspiration came for that. And then on my quest for more female statues, I came across this amazing statue of Juana Hazardi, which replaced the statue of Christopher Columbus, which I thought was quite a moment in history, shall we say. It caused controversy and was only up for 2 or 3 years, and both statues are now relocated in different places in Buenos Aires.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Fair point. No, great stuff indeed. Now, I don't know if you know this, but I've got a big interest in ecological poems. I have. I really do, because I've even got like, it's common known, I actually write under a name called Shepley Bridge. This is especially ecological poems, just because it gives things just different voices, give it different space when you need it. So I was very, very interested in reading poems like Mapping the Arctic, and then obviously seeing the grappling with the climate change in it. Now, there was a beauty in this poem, but also the urgency as well. Now, is this sort of topic that really does interest you, does it?
I am obsessed with the climate crisis, the climate emergency. It's getting forgotten about. We are not doing enough about it. And I'm trying to raise awareness and trying to keep it to the forefront. Um, it's number one. If we don't look after the planet, we won't have anywhere to live. We are not going to Mars. Let's be logical about this. We live here on this planet, and it's amazing, and it needs tender care. I'm really worried about global warming, which led me, and I'm hearing all the time about the ice melting. I can see when I was flying, you can see the glaciers when you're obviously as you're overflying Greenland and down towards the States. So it's very much an interest of mine, yes, and
Yeah,
that's it comes from the heart.
yeah, same for me as well. It's like I've got like family and I've got friends and stuff that are very, very young that are going to get impacted by this. 'Cause we're at the stage where I won't be here in 30 years' time to see the real damage we've done probably. And like it'll be, and my nephew's like, I've got a nephew who's 18, he will be, he's terrified about it, what's going on. And you can't blame him. And no, I agree with you completely, 'cause I think it's a great piece, that one indeed. One of my favourite pieces in the book, that. Now, obviously then, that's been the case then. Let's go back to the question we asked about animals before then. Now, I love good points about animals, and you know already I love Courtney, who's effectively our man and Amanda's surrogate daughter. She loves animals. It's her responsibility for this. But like, there's a lot of them in your book, like hares, leopards, songbirds, bees. Was this always a plan to be in the collection from the beginning, or did this come naturally?
It came naturally, Andy.
Best way, right?
These poems are some of them are 10 years old.
Are they
Some of
really?
them
Oh,
I
wow.
literally wrote. Some of them I literally wrote before I sent the everything off to Ashley.
Oh, fantastic. That's the best way of that. There's a good gap there, John. Shall I said that? Pardon me. My chest is bad today. There's a good gap there, then, that's been the case. And the collection's had time to breathe, then, really, hasn't it? And it's like, that's brilliant.
Yes.
Yeah. Now, I said it's like, there's a lot. I love the use of your rhythm and your repetition in this book. And I've not, I think I've seen you read once, twice, and you could tell me otherwise, but you're always a good reader. And I think it's with the way you use your rhythm in the pieces and the repetition. And it's like, did you find how important is the sound of your poetry? Do you like when
Really.
yeah, it's got to be on it, that book of yours.
Yeah, it's really important. It's funny because I'm such a hyper visual person, hyper phantasic, and everything is visual. I'm very colours are really important to me as well. I didn't realise until I put this collection together. I think there's a bit of synesthesia over there going on between words and music. I have no musical talent. I cannot sing. I cannot play any instruments, but words do mean music to me.
Yeah, there is a very, very lyrical quality in the book, and you're right. It shows when you read that the words dance, and I think that sometimes that's good. 'Cause it stands on the page and also performed really well as well.
Yeah, the biggest one for me was sea loneliness. Ash had a look at it and said, I think I might have a go at editing this poem. And I said, good luck, because that's all based on sound. You won't be able to
Oh,
replace any of those words.
blimey! For what I know of Ash, and Ash had probably had no hair left time you had gone through that point then. Oh,
So,
brilliant!
so the only way it was edited was to put space in. I didn't have any space in the original poems.
Ah,
But Ash has
right.
put space in there to give people time to breathe.
Yeah, you need to. That's a good point. That so obviously looking at the research side of this then next, which we touched on before. Obviously, we was Queen Ravalonia and Madagascar and Midnight in Christopher Columbus's Square. What kind of research did you have to do for all this then? Because those points felt like they took time to write, for example.
Yeah, as much as possible. I research as much as possible. You'll know that from mapping the Arctic as well. I spent a long time, many times, watching Radi Yevich's video and Emergence magazine. I read lots of articles from Emergence magazine. I read all around the subject. I'm not a scientist. I don't claim to have any scientific facts. It's just I do a lot. Sometimes I do a lot of research.
Yeah, I think sometimes some pieces, anything you do with poetry or certain stories in my case nowadays, you have to sometimes have that little bit of knowledge to make the piece tick, don't you? So otherwise it
Yes.
could I've read books before now where, and I'm not going to name them, where you've had an American writer's thought you could drive from London to Manchester in half an hour.
Yeah, you can't.
No, no. So that's what I mean. So it's like, yeah, you need that balance to give it that sort of authenticity with it, definitely with that. So, yeah. Now, like I said, your work moves a lot of very fine lines in this collection, and it works really well in between like myths, ecology, and personal reflection. What would you hope readers carry away emotionally or intellectually after spending time with your book? Because this study is a book that takes time, this one to read, and I think to fall in love with. And I've thoroughly enjoyed it.
Oh, good. Thank you so much, and all for your kind words as well. Honestly, it's been great. It's been great. Um, Spiders weave patterns of life, and they are the actor of create. So create, create, create. Do not fail to see the expansiveness of the eternal plan of planet Earth. Do not get bogged down into negativity. Get moving. Find joy. And look at other people's accomplishments and take on board their accomplishments and create your own new accomplishments. If we all stick together, we can beat negativity.
Nicely said. No, agree with you completely with that. So yeah, very, very good point indeed. So yeah, no, great stuff. So good luck with it, definitely. Now, obviously, at the time of recording, obviously, we need to state to people first of all, we're recording is actually at the end of November, and the books I know is in January now, isn't it? So
It is, yes.
what date is it out in January? Because I've seen two different dates on this. It's more confusing.
I don't know, Andy. I think it's the 14th. I think it's the 14th of January. Ash will kick my bottom if it's not. I think that's to be confirmed.
Ah, fair enough. I've seen it somewhere I've seen it on the Waterstones website. It was later than that as well. It was
Right.
so. But anyway, people, when this is released, you will hear it and you'll better pick it up or find it quite easy. So now you've got a launch coming up, haven't you, in January, I believe.
To be confirmed.
Ah, okay, ding dong. Okay, we'll move on then. Right, yeah. Follow. Okay, what we'll then do is we'll treat this a different way then, because I've been researching. I've got my information wrong. Sorry, Ash, and sorry, Susie. Right, yeah. Now, obviously, then, do you have any sort of readings planned for this at the moment, or is that to be announced?
It's to be announced, Andy, at the moment. Yeah,
Yeah, well, we are early, so
we
yeah.
got delayed because originally I was going to be in February, then I was pulled forward to December. And it's been a long summer for everybody. And things have just not gone according to plan. So we are just not stressing about it. And things will happen when they happen at this moment in time.
Best way. No, that's fine. Best way of it. So I agree. Now, obviously, people obviously will be able to make sure I'm right with this. The book will primarily be sold on Amazon, won't it?
Yes.
Yeah, primarily. That's it. I have seen this still in pre-order and Waterstones. It'll obviously be cropping up other places as well. So
Yeah. And
yeah,
I will have some of my own as well. If anybody wants to send me messages, I can post them out with signatures.
brilliant. Yes. Okay. Social media time then. For people to track you down on social media, if they want to get a copy of you personally, how do you recommend it?
Okay. I am on lots of social media websites. I'm just going to find the full list now. Bear with me. I'm on Blue Sky at susysue371.bsky.social. I'm on Facebook as Susan Aspell. I'm on Instagram and Threads at susysue37. LinkedIn at Suzy Aspell. And Twitter at susysue371.
Brilliant. You're on more pages than I'm on. I've never even been bothered signing up for Threads actually. Is Threads any good? I've never used it.
It is actually. It's the new version of Twitter. To be honest, there's quite a lot of news on there. I don't. There's yeah. I flip between the three: Twitter and Blue Sky and Threads.
Yeah, no, that's fair. That's fair play to you. Not fair play to you. Me, it's usually Facebook, Instagram, and well, to a degree, Twitter and Blue Sky. But yeah, no, fair play to you. Good stuff. Now, obviously, do you envisage maybe in the future doing a second collection then?
I'm still writing, so I'm still attending workshops. Poems are still coming out of me. What I'd really like to do is write a novel or a documentary or a TV series. I've been involved in lawyers have been in my life for now nearly 4 years. I can't say much because we still haven't got to the end. So it's possible I may use that. If not, then I'd really like a lawyer-free head to set my imagination free.
I like that. I like that. I'll tell you about my novel that's coming out next year in a minute as well. So, but brilliant, Susie. Good luck with the book. And I
Thank you
know
so much.
keep me informed keep me advised of the launch when it happens, okay? And if I can, I'll be there, okay? No danger in
Thanks
that
ever
one.
so
So
much, Andy.
brilliant. Okay, folks. Yes, we will wrap up there now. And me and Susie are going to have a quick conflag and sort out how many pieces Susie will do with us in the second half of the poems. But great stuff, Susie. Fully enjoyed
Perfect.
it.
Thank you so much, Andy. Take
Take care.
care.
Right, folks. See you all. Two shakes of the dice.